so much to talk about tonight. What's good, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge, your daily sports betting brand of record. This is Early Edge Live. We're counting down to Sunday Night Football, and it's megastar after megastar after megastar Chiefs and the Bucs, and the line has moved all over the place. And we know this as we head into Sunday night, that in the AFC West, Russell Wilson, not as good as everybody says he was. No, they're not. The Broncos are going to lose to the Raiders. The Chargers almost gave it back to the Texans today. They didn't, and so they do win today. So the Chiefs, a big one for them tonight to get to 3-1. The Bucs as well. Let's bring in the stars of the show because I got three of the absolute best minds in the business ready to break it down from top to bottom. First and foremost, he's also, full transparency, a big-time Chiefs fan with your boy, live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level, M Square. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Coach. What a crazy day in the NFL. We can say that pretty much every week, but really crazy right now. The Patriots on the live line, minus 165 to win this game in Lambeau with the third-string quarterback. What a day.
It has been incredible to watch Zappe come in, rookie quarterback, and he's looked the part. He's looked the part. Quarterback number 3 had a chance to beat Aaron Rodgers. They had a touchdown catch that was just not hung on too long enough that would have gave them the win. Now, also live from Nashville, Tennessee, but 8 floors below, he's our 5-tool player, AB. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Coach. Good evening, Mike, and props. Good evening, everybody in the Early Edge crew in the chat. Yeah, and your boy, Bailey Zapp from Western Kentucky, about 30 minutes from the SportsLine office here in Nashville. The kid can sling it, and it's fascinating. We talked about that Brian Hoyer stat of losing 11 straight starts. If the Patriots win, he gets credited with a win on the start, right? So it's like, what in the world's going on? Also, Mac Jones is like, okay, I need to get help quick.
He probably doesn't even know who Wally Pipp is at this point.
No.
But they're playing for the right organization as 21 years ago, this happened to another quarterback for the Patriots. So that game is currently still in overtime. We'll keep our eye on it as we move along. Now, if this man appears to have a big old fat smile that normally is reserved for AB, it's because live on the show, he said, I love Austin Eckler to score not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns today at plus 2,500. And Alex, what did he do?
He scored 3 touchdowns for us, Coach. It was a thing of beauty. Nothing made me happier than seeing all these SportsLine subscribers share their tickets between plus 2,200, plus 2,500 of Austin Eckler scoring 3 touchdowns today. I knew he was due for a big game. It happened. It was a thing of beauty.
It takes a lot of cojones to tell people he's going to score 3 touchdowns when he had this many going into this week. But that's why he's the best in the business, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get into it and look forward to tonight. What we do on this show, if you are brand new, we go through our best bets. And if you have any props, and there's a ton of them we need to talk about, then put it into the chat. Put the juice that your book has with it as well. You can ask my guys anything, and we can answer it. Then, at the top of the hour, I need 500 likes to give out the donkey parlay that you all love so very much, and we've been cashing a lot lately. Maybe a little bonus from Alex, yes?
There may or may not be a Goose parlay ready and waiting if we get to a certain amount of likes, Coach.
All right, I need 550 for that. So 500 for the donkey. I need 550 for the goose. Then, of course, we do the VJM tonight. Right now, the Maestro is very, very lonely in the club as he is the only one who is there. If you want to play along with that, I'll give you details when we get there. But you need to find a first touchdown score at plus 1,000 or higher. All right, now let's get into it. Our best bets for the night. And, Mikey, I would love to come to you because I think Old Faithful tonight's going to have a big-time game. I've already played it because I'm not about to watch this line move on me. Start us off.
Yeah, we're going with Travis Kelce here, over 68.5 receiving yards. Love this spot for him. I would play this to 71. The simulation number on this is 77, admittedly. Pretty high on him here, but love the spot. He's got 23% of the target share for the team, 27% of the air yards, obviously heavily involved in the red zone, going to be heavily involved in this offense. They are underdogs in this game. We're projecting a neutral trailing game script for them. All things that are great considering this Tampa Bay defense is targeted a lot by opposing tight ends at one of the highest rates in the league. They are a little bit of a pass funnel here. They're going to throw the ball to Travis Kelce tonight. Since Todd Bowles has taken over in Tampa Bay there on the defensive side, he's played him twice. He had 8 catches, 82 yards, 10 catches, 133 yards. Look for more of the same tonight. Big volume for Travis Kelce. We're going over 68.5, minus 110, where I played it on FanDuel tonight.
And Mikey, his catches at over 6.5 plus 105. Do you like anything there?
I lean to the over on that as well. I think we see like an 8 to 10 catch, 95-yard with a score type of game out of him tonight. But I do prefer the yardage at 68.5 over the receptions if I had to pick one of the two.
All right, very, very good. All right, so we start with Travis Kelce, who more times than not can be counted on in big games like this. Mahomes has shown he likes to go back to his security blankets when he's in a big-time game, and tonight is one of those. Now, Alex, on the other side, now Tom Brady has been out without weapons, but tonight it looks like he's going to have the full complement, and his favorite one, you're on. Who am I talking about?
I am, Coach. Yeah, we're going Mike Evans. Gave this out on the Friday show at 66.5 receiving yards. It's currently hovering between 68 and 69.5 receiving yards. I'd still play it there. I'd maybe scale down to half a unit, though, at that number. Back in the lineup, Julio Jones, Coach mentioned, also back in the lineup, and Chris Godwin all returning to this lineup. I was hoping that one of two of these guys would be active, but I'm okay with both of them active because Mike Evans is by far the healthiest, least rusty receiver. He's also been phenomenal this year. He's got a 2.87 yards per route run this season with a 14.0 ADOT. That's what you're looking for. I talk about this all the time. You're getting a lot of targets deep down the field. That is the recipe for a spike game, which is what we're after here. This is also a great matchup versus the Chiefs. They have a solid pass defense, but they've really struggled with opposing number 1 wide receivers this year. Michael Pittman, Mike Williams all had very big days versus this Kansas City secondary. They profile similarly to Mike Evans. KC is 29th out of 32 teams in DVOA to opposing number 1 wide receivers, which is also very, very encouraging, Coach. So I love me some Mike Evans over 66.5 receiving yards. I'd still play it, but maybe scale down half a unit at 68 or 69.5.
I played this about an hour ago, and I got it at 67. So it's still hovering in that neighborhood, and I love this play. The Chiefs have shown, and I love the Chiefs more than any team on planet Earth. They cannot cover Mike Evans. They've never been able to. They don't do it. They're not even close to him. He will go over both catches and receiving yards tonight. Now, normally, I don't give out plays during the football season. I've got enough cappers to do that. But I felt impelled when I saw the number under 48. You don't think that Tom Brady's ticked off the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks? 3 offensive touchdowns so far this season. 3. And you don't think Patrick Mahomes is ticked off about what happened last week in Indianapolis against the Colts and they lose? No. We got 2 superstars tonight that have big-time chips on their respective shoulders. Now, I would never pick a side here, but I would pick the over at 47. Let's cash that ticket. Third quarter, I was thinking. All right, AB, our quarterback whisperer. You're up, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, so first off, feel good about this. You spoke about Mike Evans and the Chiefs not to be able to guard him. I don't know if anybody in the league can guard him. He's pretty good. Right? So, yeah, I feel pretty good with props play on that one. Look, I think you're right in regards to the Chiefs and their loss last week to the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're going to come out and say, you know what? Why don't we just get back to being who we are? And we're going to find our stars. We're going to chuck the ball down the field. We're going to make you defend 60 yards of this field. Good luck. Have fun with it. You're not going to be able to cover everybody. So we're going to go Patrick Mahomes over 261.5 passing yards at minus 120. Next, we're going to play both quarterbacks over half an interception. I think that we're going to see both teams pressing offensively. What you spoke about in regards to Tom Brady and the Bucs offense, what you spoke about in regards to the Chiefs coming off of that loss against the Colts. I think that we see probably a pretty tight game back and forth to where nobody can really just set in and just run you to death, right? Like you're going to have to put the ball in the air. So that's why, obviously, I like Mahomes' passing yards. But both of these quarterbacks, they're going to make a couple errant throws. Yeah, like the picks as well.
I love those as well. And usually in these big games, even though Mahomes is great, he has a tendency to take chances, which leads to at least one interception. Let me come to you, Alex, because Leonard Fournette, we mentioned rushing. His number 63.5. Chat question on the ground. Do you like it?
Yeah, I'd lean over on Fournette. It does not look to be 100% to me. However, the Bucs offensive line's also struggling a bit to open up holes. I do think getting Mike Evans back in the lineup, getting Chris Godwin and getting Julio back will kind of allow, take a little bit of pressure off him, because without those guys, having basically Russell Gage and Brashard Perryman as your top 2 wide receivers, defenses were really stacking the box against him, playing 8 men in the box as well. When you have all these receivers back on the field, they can't do that against this group. So I do think having all these guys will help him. It should help his efficiency, but I do want to caution a little bit. I just don't think that Fournette is playing at quite 100%. So I'd lean over on it. I just wouldn't be surprised if he gets dinged up and potentially knocked out of the game. So I'm staying away personally.
Just like Javonte Williams did today for the Broncos, having a great day. He gets knocked out, and that's what happens with props. We tell you all the time, be very, very careful, because that can happen, especially to running backs. A couple of chat questions. Mikey, let me come to you. There is a boost, and I'm not sure which book it is, but Mahomes over 1.5 touchdowns. I know I saw it today, like minus 190, but apparently it's from it's at boosted plus 100 tonight somewhere. Do you like him over 1.5 passing touchdowns?
Yeah, definitely. I'm wondering if that's a first half boost or a full game boost. It would probably be a little better than plus 100 on first half, but yeah, it's a great play if you can find it. And then speaking of boosts, I saw a chat on it also. I know we're going to get asked again. There's a FanDuel boost on Evans and Kelce to both have 50-plus receiving yards that is boosted to plus 170. I like that. I just played it. That's what I was doing on my phone if you watched me. So I do like that one for someone, whoever asked that in the chat. Thanks for the heads up on it.
There you go. I'm also coming to AB for another boost from the chat. By the way, somebody in the chat said AB's either reading or he's producing the show while he's on the show. So give the man his respect if he's not looking straight into the camera all the time. He's trying to take care of everything. That's why he's our 5-tool player. Now, AB, I do have a question for you. There is a boost, I believe, at FanDuel at plus 130 for both Brady and Mahomes to go north of 225.
Ooh, I mean, I obviously love Patrick Mahomes at that number. Tom Brady, he hasn't looked the same in terms of long, big passing yardage numbers this year. I'd be careful with that one. It's worth the shot. I think that both teams are going to be going back and forth, and you're going to have to see both quarterbacks probably throw a few more attempts than they want to, but it's going to lead to more yards than they're probably used to. So, yeah, be careful with it. Mahomes is love that one. Brady, you could be right at it. So be careful. If you're having it for fun, play it half a unit or something like that for sure. Don't depend on that for your night. But it's a pretty solid boost there for sure.
Okay, very, very good. Mikey, let me come back to you. Man, there's so many people in the chat. I lose them sometimes if I don't write them down. And I lost that one, so I will find it, and I will get back to you. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, under 8.5 at plus 112. Is that rushing or is that receiving?
Rushing attempts, probably.
Rushing attempts. Then, Alex, let me come to you on that one.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly efficient number. We've seen Jerick McKinnon get more and more involved in this backfield. It appears to be a complete running back by committee. I also actually think that the Chiefs are going to run the ball a little bit more than they have to. An interesting thing I wanted to discuss tonight regarding this Tampa Bay defense. They are known for being one of the best run defenses in the NFL, certainly have been over the past 3 or 4 seasons. However, this season, they've actually been more susceptible on the ground than they have been through their air. Their secondary has been phenomenal. They're fully healthy. They're all kind of emerging players reaching their prime. They're number 1 in pass defense DVOA. I don't think that's by mistake. And teams have actually been having more success on the ground versus them. So I expect the Chiefs to actually struggle a little bit throwing the ball against this excellent Bucs secondary.
Dude, hey, real quick, the chess match between the Chiefs offensive play calling and the Bucs defense of being balanced but attacking you both around the pass. I cannot wait to watch that tonight. I completely agree.
Well, I agree with that too. Mikey, let me come over to you. Now, Brandon in the chat's taking care of us. He says over 670 watching. We only have 218 likes. If you've never played the donkey and you've never played the goose, you're missing out on some of the most fun you could ever have in a primetime game. We will not give it out unless we get to 500 likes and 550. Yes, Alex.
Coach, I just want to say that you have a crystal ball. It's something I don't know what it is. They call it like psychic abilities or something. You asking for 550 likes was prophetic because that is the odds of my parlay.
Oh, it's also how many touchdown passes Aaron Rodgers now has in his career. 500. So that's the number today. So let's get to 500 so we can all play and have fun because we know we're going to play it. We know that. Now, Mike, let me come back to you because we've talked about Travis Kelce, and there's so many weapons around the field that somebody's got to catch the ball besides him. When you look at the Kansas City side of things, is there a name, a player that you think could have a really good night as compared to his number?
Yeah, I think it's Marquez Valdes-Scantling, honestly. They gets plenty of targets, typically deep targets. So there's interesting ways to attack him, both on the over on his receiving yards in general and on the longest reception. Again, I think the Chiefs will be neutral to trailing in this game. So I do think there will be plenty of opportunity for him there. His longest reception numbers down to 18.5 and 17.5 in a few spots. That's he may only have one catch in the game if it's not going well for him, but he's someone who's definitely got the ability to have a huge play in this game. So I like Valdes-Scantling on some of his numbers, and then Juju Smith-Schuster, I like him as well. Again, I'm taking a lot of overs, but on alt lines, obviously, in the donkey. I think that Kansas City's still going to have some level of success through the air. It's just a matter of, are they scoring touchdowns or not? But I do think they will be able to move the ball between the 20s. I just am very unsure of how efficient they'll be in the red zone against this defense.
Which naturally brings me to you, AB, because we have people in the chat asking about field goal props tonight. And if Mikey is right, then do we have a sweet spot?
I'll say this. I definitely trust Tampa, right? I mean, they've got an excellent kicker. They're at home. He feels comfortable there. With Kansas City, all bets are off the table. Like, I completely agree with what Mike said. Like, from the 20 and inside, it could be difficult. That being said, I can't trust it, right? I'll say this. You might take a look at fourth down conversions or attempts on your book tonight. I think if you could generally get them at like over 1.5 at plus money, wow, that could be a hell of a play because I definitely think the Chiefs will go for possibly more than 2. The Bucs aren't afraid to do it either, especially if Tom Brady, if it's a 4th and inches, 4th and 1, he'll QB sneak it every single time. That could be a sneaky good play tonight.
I think I saw when I looked at the actives, though, Mikey, you keep me honest here, that Butker is active tonight, correct, for the Chiefs?
No, he's out.
No, he's out.
Man, I saw a wrong
Matthew
list.
Wright is the kicker.
Yeah.
Okay, then I saw a completely wrong list, so I'm glad I asked. All right, so, Mikey, let me come back to you because I love when I get excited over a prop, and then I come to you and you go, Patrick Mahomes, over 15.5 rushing yards. It's always attractive, but it doesn't always hit. Talk to me.
Classic answer here, Coach. I'm not taking the under, but I do lean towards the over on this one. Not gonna touch it personally, but lean towards the over. I think he might have to do this out of necessity in this spot. It doesn't really appear that he wants to. So I'm not going to play it, but I'm certainly not taking the under on it.
Okay. By the way, quick update. The Packers do get it done at home, despite being taken to overtime, 27-24. So Zappy looks great, and nobody's happy with this result. Nobody. Because almost everybody was on the Packers minus 9.5. Then you had it live at 7. Then you had it live at 6. I guarantee everybody bet them live, and they all lost. And I guarantee you, though, survivor pools are very happy. At this very moment. Real quick, because we have 10 minutes till the top of the hour. Who was the craziest thing you saw today? I mean, as far as surprising. Real quick, let's go around now that all the early games are done. AB, let's start with you.
That people continue to buy into the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm not saying that the Titans are a good team, but, every single year, all right, you get these pundits that say the AFC South belongs to the Colts, like blah, blah, blah. First off, they've now lost to the Titans and the Jaguars and tied the Texans, okay? Number 2, they have not won the AFC South since 2014. It's been that long, right? So it's like I don't think people are ready to realize that this Indianapolis Colts team is really not a good football team at all.
All right, Mikey, what did you see today?
I mean, I say it every week. We could just keep going back to the Lions and how they continue to give up yards and points and all sorts of things. Had a great DFS day today because I played Geno Smith everywhere, and it was just a fantastic day. They gave up 555 yards to a Geno Smith-led offense. He threw for over 300 yards for back-to-back games in his first time in his career. Rashad Penny absolutely gashed them on the ground. It doesn't matter what the Lions do or who they're playing. They are giving up a ton of yards, a ton of points, and they had another total this week that was south of 50 for some reason in the market.
And it went to 93, by the way. Alex, I know you thought the under in Green Bay was going to come in, and then all of a sudden Zappe comes in, and maybe the Patriots have found their next guy. I know it's in relief, and I get all that. But he looked really good in relief, and they went to 51 in that game. What surprised you today across the board?
I was really impressed with my Philadelphia Eagles coach getting down 14-0 in the first half in inclement weather. Looked like a potential spot where things could implode. They regained composure. Jalen Hurts settled everything down. I was just really impressed with how this Eagles team responded. Basically played like pretty flawless football after that, giving up those 14 points, both offense and defensively. So I was just super impressed with how this Eagles team responded. I think this team last year would have things would have gone off the rails and things would have snowballed when you get off to a start like that. But I've just been very, very impressed with this Eagles team on both sides of the football.
Hey, real quick, if you don't mind, on the Eagles, I don't have the exact number in front of me, but if somebody could look it up, I believe they've scored like almost 90 points this season in the second quarter. It's ungodly the amount of points that they've scored. Yeah, look it up. It's a crazy number.
It's at least 24 in the first half of the first 3 games, and they had 20 today. So they had at least 20 in the first half of all 4 games.
It's a crazy number. And for anybody out there that likes to bet first quarters, first halves, whatever, the Titans have scored an opening drive touchdown in every single game this season. They also don't score any points in the second half, so be careful there. But their scripted first drives have resulted in a touchdown in all 4 games.
There you go. And by the way, all you Ravens fans, because I'm the number 1 most hated man in Baltimore, because God forbid, you say Lamar needed to do more. And today, same script as 2 weeks ago. Big lead, nothing. Big lead, nothing. And then John Harbaugh, you don't kick the field goal from the 2 on 4th down, tied, less than 4 minutes to play. Stop that.
Best kicker possibly ever. Ever.
It's such a dumb decision. And then afterwards he goes, well, I wanted to set my defense up that from the 2-yard line. Well, if you wanted to set your defense up from the 2, why don't you kick the field goal if you had that much confidence in them to stop them? Then just do that. Now, let's get back to tonight's game because we're about 5 minutes from the top of the hour. How are we looking on likes?
We need 100 more.
We need 100
right
more.
now. Everybody in the chat, Coach, as you say, pull down your phone, hit the like.
That's it.
Can I give you a Patrick Mahomes stat while we're getting people to hit the like button?
Yes, please.
So Patrick Mahomes is an underdog tonight in this game. He has never lost a football game as an underdog in terms of against the spread. They've never against the spread. He's 6-0-1. He's only been an underdog 7 times in his career.
Wow.
He's never not covered the spread.
Wow. Very interesting. And this thing started at Chiefs -2.5. It's gone all the way back to Chiefs being the underdog as every player became healthy for the Bucs. The line just kept on moving. But again, 3 touchdowns offensively. I think tonight we're going to have a shootout. I just feel it in my gut. Now, Alex, let me come to you. Chris Godwin, because we haven't talked about a lot of the weapons outside of who do you like tonight? Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
Outside of Mike Evans, we've got other players coming back. Somebody else has got to catch the football tonight. Who do we like on the Bucs side?
Yeah, it's interesting. We've got Chris Godwin returning to the lineup, Julio Jones as well. Hard to really trust either of these guys. Chris Godwin coming back off of a hamstring injury, only practiced in a limited fashion this week. I think, as we know, with soft tissue injuries, they're really susceptible to getting re-aggravated as well. I'm curious if he was able to go 100% in practice on this hamstring because it's just hard for me to trust a guy like that. Then with Julio, this guy is just probably one of the least durable players at this stage of his career in the NFL, just has a really hard time making it through all 4 quarters. So while I do think their presence is going to help, it's just hard for me to rely on either of these guys for 4 quarters. That's why I'm not playing either of their props, despite a really attractive number for Chris Godwin. His receiving props around 41 to 43.5 yards. Certainly, if he was healthy, this would be a slam dunk prop. I would take a million out of a million times. But yeah, just not knowing how the hamstring's feeling, not having seen him play, just something I'm staying away from. Same thing applies to Julio.
All right. Well, I went ahead, full transparency. I played Godwin under 41.5 because when I've watched him play this year, he's gone down in like the second quarter, third quarter. He just can't stay healthy. So based off of what you just said, I'm going to play it and I'm going to risk it. His catch receiving number is juiced like 175 over 4.5. Can't play that at minus 175. You just can't do it. Mikey, let me come back to you. Leonard Fournette, his combo number in the chat. Where is it? I've got it right here. It's right around 93.5 minus 115.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's certainly gettable. I think he sees a slight reduction in workload tonight, unless it just is a situation where they're comfortably up 2 scores later in this game. With all the receivers out there, I expect a lot more throwing from Tampa Bay tonight. Personally, I think this Chiefs secondary is going to struggle to defend them. So I'm not playing it. I actually lean towards the under on it. It's not super comfortable because he is dynamic enough to bust a huge play against this defense the way they play. But I would go under before over.
Okay. Very, very good. Under before over. Now we are 2 minutes from the top of the hour. We still have to do the VJM. We still have to do the donkey, and we have a little bonus tonight at Goose if we get to 550 likes. And I'm assuming we're getting there very, very quickly. Mike Evans over 5.5 catches plus 108. Big holiday, I believe. We've talked about that. We like Mike Evans on both sides. We're playing Mike Evans, his yardage total as an official play on the show. But we don't mind that. We don't mind that. I think he's going to get 8 or 9 catches. They cannot guard this guy, and I can't figure it out.
Hey, I'll say this. I think the only 2 people on the field that you would look at in terms of receptions are going to be Travis Kelce and Mike Evans. Other than that, there's so many weapons. You got to be careful. Probably look at yardage. But Mike Evans and Travis Kelce will get work tonight. So, yeah, I agree.
Boom. That's exactly right. Now, Mahomes has been throwing to 8 to 10 receivers throughout the first part of the year, and Brady too. So be very, very, very careful. Julio Jones. Let me come to you, Alex. And we know they love betting on big names. But sometimes big names are over the hill. He's back, 30.5. Talk to me.
Such an attractive number with Julio, capable of getting this in one catch. But Julio is also capable of literally playing one snap and then being on the sideline for the rest of the game. So I just need to trust a player more personally. I can't trust him even at a number that low. I need to see him healthy, complete a full game. This guy at this stage of his career is probably the least durable player in the NFL. I hate to say that, but it's just the truth of the matter with Julio Jones. So while it is a certainly obtainable number, an attractive number, I just have no confidence in him being able to stay on the field. So I'm personally suggesting everybody be very cautious and stay away from it.
All right. And you guys have listened, you've delivered, and I will deliver on my promises as well. But I got 2 quick questions before we do the donkey. Where are we at on the total? Mikey, how do you feel about my play with the over 47? What is your model? I told you it was a gut feeling, but what does your model say?
Yeah, so I like the over in this game. I did some like HQ stuff early this morning when this total was at 46.5. Liked it there. No, 45.5 this morning. Liked it a lot. Still like it. My simulation number is 49.1. Quickly on this, Bill Vinovich is the referee crew for this game. The reason why this is significant, his crew's called the fewest number of penalties in recent history of the last 2 years. 2011, they called almost 100 fewer flags than the top crew. So far this season, they've had 3 games. They've only called 20 penalties, and only 7 of them were thrown out. So only 13 have been accepted. That's 6 fewer than any other crew. 11 other crews have 40-plus penalties called. So it is a situation where it's very significant to note. And why that impacts the over is one of the most common called penalties, especially in these type of offenses, is going to be an offensive holding holding penalty, which sets drives back significantly. We don't see a ton of those with this officiating crew. Not going to say it helps or hurts either team. If anything, I think it helps Tampa Bay just a little bit, as they're certainly holding to protect Tom Brady in this spot, but it leads to more points in the game. So yes, my number is 49 on it.
Educate and entertain, ladies and gentlemen. Educate and entertain. You got to dig a little deeper sometimes on certain plays. All right, we got three very important things left to do, and the game starts in about 15 minutes. So let's do the donkey right now. If you can bring it up, AB. Mike, the floor is yours.
All right, here we go for the donkey parlay tonight. Plus 800 kind of classifies as a mega donk, but here we go. Chiefs plus 11.5 on the alternate spread. Buccaneers plus 8.5 on the alt spread. Over 37.5 total points in the game. Then we're hitting the alt receiving lines here hard. Travis Kelce over 54.5. Julio Jones 14.5. Juju 34.5. Mike Evans 54.5. Marquez Valdes-Scantling 24.5. And then Patrick Mahomes over 254.5 receiving or passing yards, plus 800 on this.
Man, I love the donkey. I love playing the donkey. And if you are brand new to the show and you go, there's no way this can hit. In the last 2 weeks, we've hit this twice. And there's only 3 games a week in prime time. That's how good my man is, plus 800. But let's go ahead and give out the goose right here and right now. I believe we're at 550. So now, when my two guys are very similar, you know we got a chance. Alex, you're up.
Yeah, let me preface by saying that Mikey and I did not consult each other with these parlays prior to giving them out. We just happened to overlap organically, which is certainly a good sign. So, yeah, this is the Goose parlay. We're looking at plus 550 odds, 6 legs. First up, Mike Evans, anytime touchdown. I think he's got a great chance to score tonight. He is a phenomenal red zone weapon. Then I like Mike Evans over 55.5 receiving yards. Tom Brady over 255 passing yards. He's got his full complement of weapons back. I think he's going to be airing the ball out. Cameron Brate under 45 receiving yards. This is a big number for Brate. He's only eclipsed this twice in the past 4 seasons, I believe, over 45 games played. Juju Smith-Schuster over 35 receiving yards. And finally, the Bucs to score at least 20 points. Put that all together, plus 550 odds. I think this has a really great shot to hit. As long as Mike Evans scores a touchdown, I think this is super live.
If the Bucs get the ball inside the 10, it's a lock. It's an absolute lock. All right, so we've got to do the VJM, and this is our favorite thing to do of the entire week. I don't care if we act like children. I don't care if we have too much fun. That's what we do here at the Early Edge. Now, if you are brand new to the brand, if you want to play, it's got to be plus 1,000 or higher. First touchdown scored of the game. Then you get into the club with maybe one of us. Who knows? Right now, the maestro, the only man who's never been in a nightclub, is in the club, just hanging with himself. He doesn't even know how to pop a bottle. So let's go and join him. Mikey named this. It's Mikey's deal. So as always, M Square, you're up first.
All right, Coach. You know I can't resist a backup tight end at 50-1 here. We're going Noah Gray plus 5,000 over on MGM. The number's just too high over there. It's like 2,700 to 3,200 on every other book. When they continue to give me 50-1 on these, I'm going to play them. So I like Noah Gray. He's going to be on the field at times in the red zone. Yeah, let's all get very frustrated when your fantasy team or whatever has Travis Kelce anytime touchdown score, and you realize it was Noah Gray who caught the first touchdown, not Travis Kelce.
You'll be so pissed. You'll be so pissed. Yeah. Oh, no. All right, Alex, big boy. Now, of everybody in the Early Edge family and universe, I don't think anybody wants to be in the club more than you. How do you think you're going to do it today?
That's a factual statement, Coach. I also want to point out that AB, Mikey, Sia, Larry, all these guys have gotten in the club already, so the pressure's off them. Mikey can go ahead and play these plus 5,000 long shots because he's already been in. Here, I am just desperate to get in. We'll do anything to get in. I will even bend or cheat a line. Just kidding. I won't do that. But pretty much anything else I will do to get into this club. I'm going chalk until I get in, gentlemen. That is Smith-Schuster plus 1,200. Nothing really more to say than he had. He was the best odds as far as the threshold was concerned at plus 1,000 odds. So we're going with it until we get in.
The man's not even apologizing. Not even apologizing. That's like, do you guys all see the champion fisherman that got caught putting weight in the fish yesterday? You guys see that?
Yeah, I did.
It's kind of like Alex in the VJ. The guy just stood there and got busted and said nothing. If you guys haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube. A champion fisherman put weights in his fish to cheat, and he got caught on camera. It's all on video. It's amazing.
Bass Pro Shops does not support that type of cheating.
No. All right, I'm going to go next. And I feel the same way as Alex, to be honest with you. I'm going as close to chalk as I can possibly get without cheating. And I'm going to go Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So when I hear M squared say, I like Scantling to get a lot of targets tonight, it's music to my ears. But the Chiefs better get the ball first. Because every time they play each other, I'm always like, oh, Mike Evans. I'll take plus 1,300, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. All right, AB, who you got, big boy?
But I'm going to keep it simple, all right? If you want to get in, you throw it to McCall Hardman. That's it. You put it to your boy. Now, look, I think that this game is going to be kind of odd at times because there are so many different weapons for each quarterback that you're going to see, like, just some kind of, players going off early, players going off late that are completely different than everything else. I'm going to go with Hardman here. At some point, my man's got to get me in. We're rolling with it.
Christ in the chat says, dumb picks. Christ, of course they are. This is a fun pick. This is not supposed to hit technically, but hey, if you want to complain about us playing a fun game, there's a lot of other shows.
I've never seen Christ so negative before.
I know, right? All right, our brand new producer, Jake the Snake, is on Cameron Brate tonight at plus 1,400. Jake isn't around, is he, AB, right? I didn't take anything away from him.
Correct.
Okay,
He is getting fired up for tomorrow morning show, 10 a.m. Eastern. He's going to have everybody covered.
Well, he better be awake since he's taking the night off. All right, quickly, let's throw up the donkey one more time and just rip through it. You still have about 7 minutes to get that in if you'd like. There it is. Mikey, rip through it real quick.
All right, Chiefs 11.5, Bucks plus 8.5, over 37.5, and then over on the alt receiving yards here. Travis Kelce 54.5, over 14.5 for Julio Jones. Juju Smith-Schuster over 34.5, Mike Evans over 54.5. Marquez Valdez-Scantling over 24.5, and then Patrick Mahomes over 254.5. And no to the chat, I didn't spend hours on it. It takes about a minute when I run the simulations from the computer.
All right, Alex, you're up. Go.
Yep, the Goose. We've got Mike Evans, anytime touchdown. We've got over 19.5 points for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, over 255 yards for Tom Brady through the air, under 44.5 receiving yards for Cameron Brate, over 34.5 receiving yards for Juju Smith-Schuster, and over 54.5 receiving yards for Mike Evans. Put that all together, plus 550 for the Goose.
Very good. And all right, quickly, our best bets. We'll have a few new ones tonight. Let's throw those up there quickly. Let's just rip through those. Mikey, who do you got?
Kelce over 68.5 receiving yards, has done well against Todd Bowles' defenses here in Tampa in the past. 8 for 82, 10 for 133. Big pass funnel on the Tampa side, and Travis Kelce just simply dominates in these spots.
Alex, you're up.
Mike Evans over 66.5 receiving yards. He is the healthiest, most reliable receiver for Tom Brady and these Tampa Bay Bucks. I think he's going to have a big game, and the Chiefs have been very susceptible to wide receivers that profile similarly to Mike Evans, and opposing number one wide receiver. So I love him tonight.
All right, I'm going to go with the over. Chiefs-Bucs over 47. I know that both struggled on offense last week, but this is a big-time game. Bright lights, superstar quarterbacks. They want to show off, and they want to show out. I think that's going to be a lot of points. Both teams to get at least 24 tonight. AB, talk to me.
Yep, so we're going to go Patrick Mahomes over 261.5 passing yards, minus 120. We're also going to play both Mahomes and Brady over at half an interception tonight. You see Mahomes minus 115, Brady plus 115. Side play, you see the Bucs plus 1 right there. Now, I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
Tom Brady rushing yards is set at half a yard. Is anybody feeling that tonight? Half a yard, that's it.
Mikey, should we sprinkle a little bit?
If you're a Chiefs fan, you would like to. If you're a Bucs fan, you definitely do not, because if you're a Bucs fan, you're expecting 3 kneel downs.
Which takes a little bit off that total. All right, we've got about 4 minutes, and they're going to get things started. So you know we like to end every single primetime show asking my cappers the one thing they're most paying attention to, most looking forward to in tonight's game. Mikey, start us off.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Travis Kelce. That and the night kind of hinges on him getting targets, getting open here, and just how Kansas City handles the defensive pressure here from Tampa.
AB.
I want to see what happens if you take away the run game for Tampa Bay. If you force Tom Brady to get into 38, 39, 40 pass attempts, what does he look like? Because I've got a feeling it's not the same Tom Brady. And his wide receivers, besides Mike Evans, it goes downhill in a hurry.
Alex.
I'm really excited to see this Tampa Bay pass defense. Their run defense has been one of the best in the NFL. I think their pass defense is actually the strength of this defense. I'm curious to see if Kansas City is going to adjust and be more weighted towards the run than they normally are tonight versus this elite Bucs secondary.
And I'm anxious to see which one of these two teams and quarterbacks wants to stand up and be counted. So far, there hasn't been one team, not one, in the entire NFL that has showed, maybe the Eagles, that they're the best, that they don't have any weaknesses, that they can play great on offense and defense. Nobody's done that yet. Maybe the Eagles. Tonight, can these two teams, can one show out? That's what I'm looking forward to. All right, we've done all the damage that we can do. We're about to go enjoy a Sunday night football game for all the football lovers out there. But in the meantime, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these Sunday night football tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. Prop stars, AB, M Squared, of course. Also AB on the ones and the twos. I am the coach. It doesn't matter the day, the time, the sport. It doesn't matter. We grind for you. We appreciate all of you at home. Enjoy the game tonight. And when you cash those tickets, say, where did you cash those tickets from? Simply the Early Edge. Good luck.